Welcome to another episode of Dad Can We Talk. We are at episode 26. And today, man, I got my big homie with me today. Straight out of Tampa. You hear what I'm saying? You know, Mr. QB1 Big Peezy. Y'all might know him as Lil Imp from back in the days, man. Back in the 90s, man, dancing in the streets, baby.
Nah, they don't know about that.
Do the squirrel, hey. You know, man, this a legend right here, man. A real deal legend in Florida. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't even know the half, man. So y'all don't know, man, this man here is a real legend out here. So I'm excited to have him on the show. This right here, I'm telling y'all, man, this is probably, I always tell my wife this right here is the only man that ever been in my house growing up that ever disciplined me. Talking about put some real fear in me.
Yeah.
So, listen to me, man. This right here is my big homie. Y'all welcome to the show, man. Big M. I don't even want to say no more. I'm ready to get to it, man. So,
hey, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it.
What's going on?
Man, hey, everything good, you know, got to give thanks to the man upstairs, for what he did, what he doing, and what he gonna do. You feel me? Yeah. So, my whole thing is to speak life, man, and positivity, and use my platform for good. So that's really what keep me busy, what keep me going, and that's the move and the motivation. You feel me?
Straight up. Man, like I say, man, you one of the only people, man, that I can ever remember growing up. Like the only man. I was thinking about it a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. I started saying to myself, I've never had anyone in the house, a man, that father figure in the house that was like a disciplinary. All my discipline always came from my mom.
Right.
But for the years that you lived with us, it was always like I remember the times I spent with you, man. Like it was always real. I'm like, nah, like this. Like I said, boy, you put that fear in me. Boy, I used to be like, shoot, boy, I better be on my feet. You, boy, up around here, boy, and you always, I knew you was gonna always, you wasn't gonna sugarcoat nothing with me,
right.
and you kept it real, growing up, and that was something that I always, loved. And now that I've gotten older, I'm like, man, I ain't even take advantage of that when I was younger. Like really, I feel like I should have clinged to you more because that's something that I felt, as I got older, I realized I needed something like that. Right.
But remember, we learn as we get older, and then now that you're a dad and you're a father, it make a difference. But remember, each child is different and each child has different needs. Mm-hmm. So believe it or not, Ryan made sure he talked to me. Yeah. But remember, you was always kind of in your own space, and you wasn't no bad child. You just gonna kind of do your own thing and kind of figure it out. But these are some of the things that as we go further on our journey in life, we can help other people. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing that I learned, and this goes back to your point, is not talking is not good. Right. Because, sometimes, man, we got some kids that's wearing, the weight of the world on their shoulder, and they don't really have to. But like you said, the same way you might not have took advantage of that, it's some things that we not going to see unless it get brought to our attention. And unfortunately, I want you to look at DCF policy. Yeah. When they come out, it's because you've been abused, or they come out because you didn't go to school, or they come out because they think that your parents is not taking care of you. And all those are valid things, but there's so much more other stuff that can be wrong in a child's life. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, and not that we're talking about the juvenile system, but people don't get help until they do something bad. Yeah. You feel me? So that's one of the reasons I definitely support your whole movement and see the value in what you're doing is, man, they create dialogue for a lot of other things. You feel me?
That's real. And I want to give a quick disclaimer. Y'all might hear some sounds in the background, TV, you might hear some kids, them just my babies, man. So, y'all know His dad, can we talk about this fatherhood? So, you hear my babies, please ignore them.
Oh yeah, they
won't hear them.
No doubt. But they're in the living room. They're in the living room doing what kids do, though.
Yeah, y'all gonna hear them. So my first question I always like to ask on Dad, Can We Talk is, what was your relationship like with your dad?
Well, and that's a very good question. I never met my dad. You feel me? At this point, I got the information, and eventually, I'm sure we're gonna bump into each other. But we never talked. And, I've heard some great stories. I went and did some research. I found some people that know him, and it's amazing in terms of DNA and in terms of genes. Because one of the things, and my grandmother told me this, but of course they didn't give me the information till recently. They said he was well spoken. They said he was a sharp dresser. I'm not really a sharp dresser, but and he was an entrepreneur. He was a businessman. Yeah. So think about the path that I chose, not even being up under him. You see what I'm saying? And so that's how come it turned out to be a double-edged sword, because even with some of the mistakes that I made with my boys, like the one thing that I tell them and get them the disclaimer is, I really didn't have a handbook. So I really was learning as I went along. You feel me? So, of course, I had the provider thing kind of on lock. Okay, we know about that part. You feel me? We know about the provide and the protect. But as men, it's just other pieces of molding that need to be done along the process. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
So my relationship was really non-existent. Yeah. And honestly, I didn't even really go and try to seek it out really until my late 30s.
Yeah.
You feel me? But I do remember this. I remember growing up in the projects in Kennedy Homes. And I remember, even though I seen a lot of dysfunctional stuff, I would see all of my friends, their dads would come get them. So, of course, I didn't let it bother me. But I remember having it in the back of my mind, like, damn, that'd be nice, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and even something that small kind of started to harden my heart, even at a young age, because it made me want to be independent. You feel me? And that's kind of bad. And this is just the world according to AMP. I ain't got no proof. I think that we should be teaching our young boys that they're going to be young men and to be independent. But I don't want them trying to be the man of the house too early.
Yeah, that's real.
All right? And because I think that there's long-term damage that come with that, and I think it's equivalent to skipping a few steps. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And I think that they should be able to enjoy and embrace their journey and learn each step along the way. So later on, when they need that step, it'll already be uphill, and they'll know why they went through that. I think that when they take on the man role too early, they miss out on some of their childhood. It's no different than, this is not the same thing, but I look at what COVID did to graduation. I don't think graduation should be taken from a child under no condition, because that's like a milestone. One of my other sons, he in the 8th grade. I'm hoping, I know this is small in the big scheme of things, but I'm hoping the COVID thing get worked out, because the 8th grade social at the end of the year, that's a big deal to us. And it's like, so how all that go back is, with young men, I want them to not embrace the man role of the house too early.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah. And like you say, unfortunately, especially a lot of young black men have to take on those roles because of, the position that we are in as a community. A lot of our dads are sometimes, especially when we were growing up, a lot of our dads weren't there, or, for many reasons. It's many reasons, I know some of my friends whose dads had died, or prison, or, drugs, whatever the case may be. That's the reality of the black community, and that's something that, you know, I pray that those things change with my generation. You know, we're trying to do better, you know, because, you know, I look at my little baby, I'm like, man, I never want my son to be in a position like that to where he gotta, you know, and honestly, bro, like, and this is something I've been thinking about a lot lately, you know, like, I don't know, man, I've just been having these thoughts of mortality as I'm getting older, you know, I'm just like, I think about it a lot, like, dang, like, bro, God, you know, like, God forbid, let me be here for my family, you know, literally, I just, and I think about it a lot more lately. I've been thinking about that thing, bro.
So watch this, and there's nothing wrong with that, because one is, even though you're a believer, and even though we know we come here and we gotta leave, when you have that responsibility and it's bestowed upon you and people depending on you, then you are gonna think about it, bro. One of my biggest prayers is, and not to say that I'm finished, not to say that I don't have another chapter, right? Yeah. Now, with my last 2 kids, I just want to see them get a great head start. And now that I'm doing the whole granddaddy thing, right? And I see my 2 little girls run around the whole 9. My prayer to God is, it's not even about me. Yeah. Lord, I don't know how long you're going to let me be here. Yeah. But let me be here long enough to see them in position. Yeah. Let me help put them in position. And let me try to give them the tools. Because it's not even, at this point, it's not even about me. Straight up. You feel me? It's about providing opportunities for them. And at a later date, if I'm not here, or if the other parent's not here, or if the other family don't stand up, they equipped with enough mentally. Because often all of us got talents, but do we utilize them? And even if the words say, your gifts are made room for you. So if that's what the words say, but you don't know what your gift is, you know, because your gift, we as a people, we got to start to understand that rapping and football is not our only gifts. You know, rapping and sports. All right, and so one of the things that I do, and you know, I definitely don't want to never use the word ministry, because I never want to be up under the microscope, because I could do anything wrong at any given time. I'm not speaking that. I don't want to do that, but I'm human. Anything could go wrong, you know. And so when I'm talking to the younger guys, what I'm telling them is, it's different levels of success. And I need them to understand that the barbershop that we go to, like, he's successful. Yeah. The man with the lawn service, he's successful. Yeah. I know a guy that had a hot dog stand that put his kids through college. He's successful. Yeah. The person that worked at the school board for 30 years and they matched his 401k, and now he can retire and still enjoy his life. He's successful. Yeah. Even though it's getting off subject, I need everybody to know, since they like, in the rap world, we say it's levels to this. Yeah. It's levels to success. But I need you to define what success is to you. Yeah. That's real. And not let nobody else project their feels on you or project what they think success is. You see what I'm saying? And it's no different than, and I tell you this all the time, because, and I noticed something been floating, since we were talking about mortality, not to jump off subject, but I noticed something been floating around on Facebook about, ever since, and I don't want to mess up his name, but from Black Panther, you know, Wakanda, the guy that died. Yeah, I can't think of his name. First of all, he motivated me to the 10th power, because he taught me about 4 lessons. One is, I'm real big on not complaining. Yeah. Think about what he was going through. We never heard him complain once. Straight up. Once. Didn't even know about it. I'm sure he had all of his affairs, and it's kind of crazy that we know he was well compensated, but it's obvious that he wanted some other stuff to happen, because he hid that so that he can finish a few other opportunities, right? So with that being said, that's another reason why I don't like to have excuses. I don't even want that around me, right? Now, back to the mortality thing. As we get older, as we have a real sense of responsibility, it's things that you won't do for yourself that you'll do for somebody that you love. And I think, and I could be wrong, this is just the world according to me, when it's your seed and you look at, I made this and I'm responsible for this, even though you are going to make a few mistakes along the way, like that's the ultimate. You feel me?
Straight up.
That's the ultimate.
That's real, man. That like I say, man, it's something that I don't wish it on any kid, man, because, you know, I know how I've grown to understand just how important it is to have that father in the home. And I don't even want to just say father. Now, of course, it's very important to have your father in the home, but it's also important if the father isn't there that you have some form of a male role model for every child, because they need that. Like, and this is something that, you know, I broke down a few years back. This is maybe 2015, 2016. I was doing some mentoring with some kids, man, out east. And after I left from out there that one night, I remember, bro, just like feeling this sorrow that came over me. I'm just like, man, dog, like, I love the little kid. I love the Jits, man. Like, real deal, like, because I knew they ain't have nobody. But I felt like we were stepping in that gap. And then, you know, it hit me like, man, like, why ain't, like, I wish I had my daddy. Like, and I remember, I just broke down that night, man. I literally, I'm talking about sobbing, crying, on my wife's shoulder, like,
Right.
Because it had finally hit me, like, all these years I tried to, like, just be tough. And like, oh, it's all good. I don't care about that.
Right.
But it hit me in that moment, like, nah, like,
it's not okay. But you know what? But so watch this. You said it in your way, and I said it in my way, but it's still consistent.
That's real.
Again, when you man up too early, we can, and so I'll speak for me, because I just want to make sure I help somebody.
Yeah.
It's gonna come out.
Yeah.
It's gonna come out. And so I look at a couple of the mistakes that I made with a couple of my kids, and when I seen how it affected them and I seen how it hurt them, and of course everybody's saying, nah, it's cool, yeah. But it's not cool, right? And so I'm gonna say this, and definitely before this interview over, and I think me and you talked about this off the record, it's kind of crazy now. This is just the world according to Amp. But when it is friction between the two parents, it is going to affect that child.
Straight up.
All right? And so I learned that the hardest way ever. You feel me? And if the daddy, and don't get me wrong, there's two things I want to say, so this is why I'm getting mixed up a little bit. If the parent is alive, then you better be a part of your child's life.
Straight up.
All right? Because if not, at an inopportune time, it's going to come back to hunt you. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but you and some of the other people is going to attest to this. There have been some times when I fell short with my own kids, right? Yeah. I still took care of them, and I still was there, and they know I'm there, and we get in touch, or whatever the case may be. But I'm real. Everybody that know me know I'm a believer, but they know I'm real big on this whole universe thing, right?
Yeah.
Bruh, if you go and check the record, any of my stepkids, I never treated y'all like stepkids. Yeah. I treat y'all like y'all my babies. Yeah. You know, you wore the good clothes. Yeah. You feel me? You feel me? Like straight up. Like. So my point is, it's sometimes with some of the stuff that I done did for kids that I'm assuming that God in the universe still gave me a small pass because when we're not talking about kids, we're talking about paying it forward. You ever heard that term? Yeah. And then we talking about doing good, and we talking about putting good out there. Well, with one of my kids that I had kind of lost a little bit, I think that the things that I did prior interceded for me, because at a later date, me and that son got back right. You see what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate because, and I'm a man, I stand here today, out of 4 boys, I could tell you that at different times I had lost 2 of them. Yeah. You feel me? And so the road back, it was tough. Yeah. Because, now when you're dealing with young men, and keep in mind, they got my genes too. Yeah. So you got to look at you fighting against yourself. So it's crazy, man. But I definitely, with what you're saying, the 2 things I want to touch on: growth and having an understanding and not having a fear is going to make you have the mortality conversations with yourself and with God. You feel me? And then, since we know that we're not in control, the only thing that we can do is what we're doing now. The preparation and the foundation for the physical parts that we can handle. You see what I'm saying? To where we left them something. We left them in a good position. Yeah. Things are taken care of. That's the only part that we're in control of. And what we teaching them. Because I know this. Once you're at your adolescent stage, when you get ready to do something, and let's just say bad, you hear your mama or that person of influence. You hear them. And so those are the things that we got to keep planting into our kids so that when we're not here, they can hear us. Straight up. You see what I'm saying? I often tell people, and I was never a bad guy, but I've been on the wrong side of the law the whole 9. That's how come I don't never try to act perfect. But I often told people, the relationship that me and my grandma got, if I ever would have just held some people hostage and didn't want to let them go, all I had to do was go get my grandma. Yeah. Because soon as she'd have jumped on the bullhorn and said, "Anthony," I'd have been like, "Oh, man. So y'all gonna go get my grandma?" And I'd have had to let everybody go. I'd have had to let everybody go because the amount of love that she showed me, I would never want to disappoint her. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think, and this is fast forwarding, when people are asking us some of the different questions about what we can do with the youth or what's going on right now, it's a certain amount of respect and a certain amount of rapport that you can establish with a person to where they won't want to disappoint you. They might still not care about disappointing themselves. Yeah. It's no different than, I'm sure, if you go back to your years at Eastside, you got one teacher that you just not gonna cut up in front of. Yeah. And, or you saying, "Dang, man, they put a lot of time in me, man. Dang, why she gotta believe in me?" You know, we all had that person. And I never forget at Eastside, man, I had a teacher named Miss Standiford. And I cut the monkey a little bit. Yeah. But Miss Standiford, she really did believe in me. And she would tell me, she said, you just don't want to use your mind. You just don't want to use it. It's there, Anthony. Are you ashamed because you're smart? And that's how she would talk to me. But it wasn't in a condescending tone. It was she really challenged me. And she made me step up. Yeah. Straight up.
That's real, man. So did you have anybody, who were some of your male role models growing up that helped you become the man that you are today?
Well, bro, man, I'm gonna keep it so real till it's gonna be real unpopular. Yeah. You feel me? The truth is, the men that was in my family, I really, really couldn't look up to them because, bro, we had, keep in mind, I'm adopted, right? So then I got put into a family, and bro, we had a lot of people in jail, a lot of people going to prison. So it wasn't a lot of positivity. Like, the only person that I remember going to college really was my cousin, Bobby Stroman. Like, so he was like the one cousin that I'm like, okay, yeah, he went to college. Yeah. And he went to Tuskegee. You know what I'm saying? So we, the whole family thought that was a big deal. Bro, I just remember being in like the 4th grade, and our apartment anybody that's from Kennedy Homes, for real, they'll tell you. Like, I really was out there.
Yeah.
But so we stayed on, like, I stayed in the C section, and so my apartment was right on top of the basketball court.
Yeah.
So, bro, remember the way Kennedy Homes was set up? It's for a real big project. It's four sections.
Yeah.
My section got the basketball court. So where you think everybody at? So, bro, I'm seeing the this, the that, the that, the this, the that. I'm seeing everything that you can possibly imagine. And it's funny because my mama don't want to let me go outside, but I don't even have to go down. All I had to do is just look out. I can see it all. Bruh, one time they signed me up for the Big Brothers program.
Yeah.
And I had a big brother for probably about 3 months. It's a dude, and he's not in Gainesville now. He's actually down here in Tampa with me. But his name was Zeno O'Neal.
Yeah.
Very influential because I got to go to his house. I got to go to the movies. I got to see a black man, that had a really good job. And when I went to his house, he didn't stay in the hood.
Yeah.
So it was kind of different, right? And then as I got older, the two people that I looked up to, and this going to sound crazy to everybody else, but I just thought Rodney Long and Wayne Fields was the kings because, bruh, they had a business, they had the radio station, they did the concerts and they did the clubs. And so I looked up to them. I had the only guy, and it's funny because I got the guys that ended up being my mentors, I got them late. After I had already kind of made up my mind to be grown. Yeah. So I still kind of did it my way. It was a club, and your mama will vouch for this. It was a club in Keystone Heights named Tipping Inn. Yeah. And it was a dude by the name of Big Roy. Well, they don't know it. Big Roy the one who paid for my prom stuff. You feel me? And so he was very influential because I had keys to his house. And later on, when he found out I was doing the wrong thing, man, he was pissed. Yeah. Because he was basically saying, don't be like me, be better than me. You see what I'm saying? And then there was another guy who was my manager, older dude named Emmanuel Jones. Mm-hmm. And Emmanuel, probably out of everybody, was the most influential because I used to, so let's say I'm 16, 17 years old, and I'm going to meetings with him, right? Yeah. This dude come out of the meeting, like, listen to me, he AI. In the meeting, he AI. Yeah. He coming out with it. He going to the goal. I'm talking about taking the contact, and I used to watch him talk, right? Mm-hmm. And so then I started to just hang with him. I started to want to go to the meetings with him. And I'll never forget, and this is a true story right here. This the realest I ever wrote. Yeah. We went to the biggest music convention of all time in Atlanta, Georgia. Mm-hmm. This when Bobby Brown was like the thing. Yeah. Right? And bro, you can't believe this. Satonia from Gainesville, she could vouch for it, or the other young lady that used to work for Magic that's in Ocala. I can't think of her name, but she could vouch for it. But when we went to Atlanta to this big convention, I'm standing in the line with Heavy D, Will Smith, and Guy, right? Yeah. But check this out. We broke. Yeah. I'm with Emmanuel. Bro, we got a gas card, and we got backstage access. From then on, I believed that anything was possible because I was with him. Yeah. I know we was broke. I know we stayed at the Motel 6 down the street. Yeah. You feel me? I know we didn't eat at one restaurant. We eating at the stores with a Chevron card. So he probably was the most influential, if I had to say.
That's real.
Yeah, straight up.
That's real, man. And the reason why I ask those questions because I want people to understand that, we all need somebody. Yeah. And my whole concept behind Dad Can We Talk is the fact that, I want people to be able to talk about what's real, and I don't think at times, like I say, I know a lot of us, we want to try to act like things don't bother us.
Right, but it do.
It bothers us.
And it has the effects later on when it's your time to be in a real relationship to go further, all of that adolescent stuff come out.
That's real. That's real, man. That is so real.
If they don't listen to nothing else I say, if you look at the characteristics of the male in the relationship, no matter who he is, where he from, the whole nine, then go spend time and find out how he came up, find out where he came up, and you see how much of a product is he of that.
Straight up, man. So you got four boys. Four boys, man. How's it been? I know it's been a journey, and I know it's been a roller coaster at times. How has it been raising 4 sons?
It's crazy because I didn't do it right. See, this the part where I have to man up and I have to look in the mirror. I didn't do it right because you got to look at it. I got 4 sons, but I got 4 baby mamas.
Yeah. That's real.
That's a problem in itself.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then when you take on multiple baby mamas, then you take, like, it's hard enough for a black man as it is. You feel me? So now if you dealing with the dynamics of the relationship, everybody lose. You lose, she lose, and the child lose.
Yeah.
You feel me? So the truth of the matter is, with each one of my sons, I've been able to do something unique and fortunate. Like, the truth of the matter is this, and it's something that I had to write. 2 of my sons, I lost them, bro. Straight up. Yeah. One of my sons, the one who I spent the most time with, bro, he was mad at me for about a year. Like maybe a year and a half when me and his mom didn't make it. And then, my 19-year-old son, bro, hey, when he got 16, 17, bro, we had a rough year because at the end of the day, he was trying to understand, and it had got brought to his attention. There was some different experiences that I shared with my other sons that I didn't share with him. And it was obvious. So to him, the money, he didn't care about the money. You see what I'm saying? And so, fortunately, I stand here today and I learned something from each one of those experiences. And like, bro, with my last 2, I just try to, do things a little better. And now I listen more. I pay attention more. And I understand that the money, and let me put this in the universe, man. Nobody gonna like when I say this. Fellas, listen to me, because I messed up a couple times. The money ain't nothing, man. And I'm gonna say this to the women. Like, now that we got the courts involved and the child support and the this and the that, listen to me good. If you got a daddy that's really trying to be a daddy and that's really on it with the son, the time is more important than the money. All right? I know that sounds stupid, crazy. If you on your feet, and I'm saying this to the women, and I understand nobody's going to agree with this. I'm just saying for the long-term effect of your child. If you know you on your feet and the man is not on his feet for whatever reason, even if it's his fault, but he trying to be a good daddy and he putting time into that child, work with him a little bit. Because incarcerating them really not going to help the problem. And I understand this. Let me say this. I've heard every argument known to man. Women, I do commend you. You do have the child all the time in 90% of the cases. All right? And with that being said, just know that if we can ever get that balance to where everybody play their role, and then we team up just for the sake of the child, long term, you're going to produce a better product that's going to make a more positive contribution to society and make your job easier. Because this is something that we as a community got to learn. When our kids get 18, they still our kids. All right? Ain't no, like, let's get that out of the way. Trust me, I put just as much time into my grown kids because, and I don't know no other way to say it, the choices that they gonna make, now that they grown, they got even more of a long-term impact.
Yeah.
You feel me? So when I'm talking to people now, and this is why it's so important for me to say this here, I'm just hoping I help one person, really. And I can admit that I made mistakes, but I can also admit that I humbled myself and tried to rewrite it, fix it, and change the narrative. And now I know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, money ain't everything.
Straight up.
It ain't.
Mm-hmm. That's real. You know, and I had that conversation a lot at the job. A lot of times they're trying to have me do certain things. And, you know, I had a guy ask me, he asked me something about management or whatever. And I was just like, I ain't really, especially not where I'm at. I'm like, I'm straight, bro. Like,
right.
I'm really on another route.
Right.
Like, they was like, but the money, this, he went up bragging about the money, this, and I'm like, bro, listen to me. I'm straight, bro.
Right.
Like, cause then, you know, I just had to come out with it. I'm like, honestly, bro, I see the life that y'all brothers live. But y'all in here, I can't do that, bro. I've made a commitment to my wife, to my children, bro. And he was like, oh, I got a wife too. I'm like, I ain't say you did it, bro.
Right.
But what I'm telling you is, I can see your life, bro. I watch you every day. You are my manager, bro.
Right.
I see where you be at. I can't make the same commitment.
That's it.
I just can't.
Right.
That might work for you.
Right.
It ain't gonna work for me. And then he tell me, no, well, my wife going to this place and I'm sitting over here. And he just like, you know, and then what got me, he said, when I come home and my son asks me to throw the football, I tell him to take his ass in the room. And I was like, oh, you ain't winning me. Right. Bro, like, what does that even sound like, bro?
And so watch this. And this is a conversation for another platform, but I'm going to touch on it briefly. Any relationship without the time invested is a relationship that's going to be lost, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Period, bro. Listen to me good. You know, I'm from where I'm from. I can't change that.
Yeah.
But even if you did the city girl thing and you brought her every bag known to man, she's still not going to be happy. Because see, and this is something I want to tell young men, and I believe I'm qualified to say this, because I done messed up enough. You feel me? You just took a stand and you said, bruh, I don't have a problem with you doing that, but that's not going to work for me. So right then, you just stood on something and you didn't compromise. That's bruh, some of us ain't even thinking like that to 40.
Yeah.
You feel me? Trust me now, it's still some 35-year-old man that's still 22 in the mind.
Yeah, straight up.
If you don't take no other advice from me, this is something I'm going to tell you. You the steward over your family, right? It's going to be pretty hard to watch over them if you're not there.
All right.
You feel me? So, let's say you make 40 grand. Them giving you 10 grand and taking your foot off base at the house.
Yeah.
Bruh, I'd rather you and the wife be in the family meeting and see what the happy medium is. You know what? For us to live like we want to live, we need $65K.
Yeah.
Now, to somebody else, I'm like, child, y'all broke. No, you broke if you living above your means.
Yeah. Right.
You might not need the driver Jag. You might be happy with a Honda Accord.
Straight up.
She might be cool with the Toyota. Yeah. And I know this is not what we're talking about.
No, but that's real.
But it goes back to this. Another reason that some dads is not in the house is it be other internal conflict that be arising It could come from pressure. It could come from finances. It could come from just no togetherness. But I'm challenging the dudes to, well, if you find out that that's really, really, where you want to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to give up something. You feel me? And that balance, man, the only way you're going to get that balance, man, dog, it's going to take some prep. It's going to take some growth. It's going to take some maturity. And it's going to take some looking in that mirror, man. Because I'm going to tell you, you can fool everybody up under the sun. That man in the mirror going to tell you, like, man, come on, bro.
All right.
Come on, man.
That's real.
And I'm going to say this, bro. Like, this on everything I love. Sidebar. We as a people, we so fickle. Bro, it done been a couple of times to where I could have got the great car. But I got what I needed, right? Yeah. And so I would watch how people would look and how people would try to treat me when I pulled up, to where they would think that I'm operating from a position of weakness. Yeah. When really I'm operating from a position of strength, because that car don't define me, homie. Right. Your car define you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel me? And until we understand who we are and what our worth is, because I'm going to say this, and I got to get this to my people, and this going to hurt. It's not what you can drive. It's what you can afford to drive. Yeah. Because I done seen a Jaguar have $1,000 tune. No, I don't want to lie. Maybe, let's say I done seen a Jaguar have an $800 tune-up. Yeah. So yes, you can drive it, and yes, you can afford the monthly payment. Bruh, can you rock that every 3 months?
Yeah. All right.
And so that's again with us being real about ourselves. And I'm gonna say this, going back to the relationship, and this is not the right platform, but finance is gonna have something to do with the structure of the relation and the dynamics. Like if you talk to people and you ask them what their toughest conversations be, it'd be them financial family meetings. Them big ticket purchases. But we ain't gonna talk about that because we love the kids. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hold up. And so and watch this. I ain't gonna let people try to hide and say, well, that don't go on with the church people. Nah. The church, listen to me. Listen to me. The church people have to put their kids to bed too and have them real conversations, because it's real. We in the real world right now.
Straight up. Straight, and boy, listen to me. I'ma tell you. Boy, and over the years I've learned. I done been in the church for about 10 years now. Right. Within these last 10 years, man, I've learned so much about myself, about other people. Man, bro,
there it is.
I ain't even gonna go there.
That's my point.
I done seen so many things, man, and I've learned a lot of things. And me, I just always been the type of person, I'm gonna keep it real now. I'm gonna be honest and I'm gonna be real about things, because there ain't no reason to be fake about stuff. And I'm gonna just say it like this. Man, the church don't change nothing. Yeah. The church, the church is about that's the salvation. That's for another time. Man, we all in this thing, we all trying to learn. We're all still growing. There's all type of stuff that go on within.
Yes, I know. Hey, but see, watch this here. People think, hold on, and watch this. I'm gonna spell the church today, because y'all know I love the Lord too. But see, people look at Greenleaf and be like, oh. I'm like, bro, listen to me. I've been in church all my life. I done seen it all, bro.
Yeah, it's real, bro.
You feel me? I done seen it all, and so how all that come back to this is, and I'm gonna say this. I've been in church all my life, right? But not once was it a church that I was a part of to where they pulled the young men aside and even focused on some of these things right here. I'm just saying, bro. We don't get me wrong. I done been to Vacation Bible School. I done been to Sunday school. I done been to the men's retreats. I done did all that. Yeah. But they wasn't preparing us for what the block had. And I'm gonna say this. And this how come I want people to fight for their kids. Because we might not hug our kids. We might not hug them. But the block got time to hug them.
Yeah. All right.
The block got time to hug them. When you busy,
they got time.
The block got time to hug them. You feel me? And so, bruh, as I travel, and I go a lot of places and I see a lot of things, I realize, like, we blessed, man. I wouldn't raise no kids in Chicago. I wouldn't raise no kids in Memphis, Tennessee. I wouldn't even raise kids in Birmingham, Alabama. No disrespect to none of those places. Okay, for sure. No disrespect to none of those places, bro. But my whole point is, when I see what they faced with,
yeah,
like,
it's real, boy.
Bro, it's so real.
It's real.
And that's how come we have to prepare our young men for the real world. And even now, with this new sense of urgency with COVID and things of that nature, I was telling one of my sons, I want to say a week ago, and he thought it was funny. I said, bro, let me tell you what a man gonna have to be when you get up there. I said, he gonna have to be smart. He gonna have to be a hard worker. He gonna have to be ambitious, right? And he gonna have to be able to adjust and adapt simultaneously. All right? I say, so you are smart. And I promise you, I'm very excited about that. But the bar is about to get raised. You feel me? Because I was at, you see the area out here.
Yeah.
Bruh, our Walmart had a darn robot sweeping the aisles the other day, bro.
No.
I'm talking about a robot tall as me, right? I wish I was making this up. I'm talking this in the middle of the day. And I know that you see how Walmart getting less and less lines. Yeah. Cashiers.
Yeah.
Bro, in the middle of the day, bro, they had three robots my size that was sweeping the floor, bro. We in trouble. You ain't got no ambition. Yeah,
I work in Walmart warehouse.
I ain't know that.
They bringing the Walmart. I mean, they bringing robots in the warehouse now.
See,
I'm an order filler.
Okay. See.
So now they finna bring in, like, my job is to, I'm putting the labels on the boxes.
Okay.
Sending them to shipping.
Right.
They're about to bring in the robots to take the labels out of our hands. They say, we don't want y'all to have the label.
See?
We want y'all to just go to each pallet, boom, throw them on the line. The robot's gonna label them.
See what I'm saying?
I was like, what? So they say by the end of the year, they'll be in the warehouse.
Okay. So now, so again, I know it's a different subject, but that's why I'm harder on my boys. That's why I'm giving more information. And honestly, I've changed my curriculum. So I am listening more, but I'm sliding that other information in because I'm preparing them for that.
Because really, I just talked to my supervisor yesterday. And he told me straight up. He said, bro, when the robots get in here, you know what that mean, right? I said, you ain't got to tell me. He said, some people ain't going to make it, bro.
That's it.
And so now it's going to be somebody daddy, some grown men in there.
No.
Some people ain't going to make it.
There it is.
I be like, I ain't going to be one of them.
Yeah, right.
I'm one of them. I ain't worried, but it's like, at the end of the day, somebody daddy, bro, gonna have to come home and say, I ain't got it right. Like I ain't got it, you know. So it's like you said, we got to prepare our children for what's out there because it's getting real. It's only gonna get more real. It ain't
right. Yeah. So all that going back. Look here, we're not going back. Let's get that out of the way. The new norm is the new norm. It is going to get better, but pay attention. If you don't adapt, if you don't adjust, you will become extinct.
Straight up.
That I'm putting that into the universe. They better not give me a mic because I'm telling them.
Yeah.
Okay, you want things the way they was? You like things to stay the way they are? They got something for you, bro.
All right. Straight up. Mm-hmm. That's real. Mm-hmm. So, I want to go to marriage, man. married man.
Yeah, man. Yep.
How's marriage going?
Nah, man, it's going good. In my opinion, bro, and this the world again. This the world according to Amp.
Yeah.
The person you married, though, and I know because I done, you know what I'm saying, I done won, I done lost, I done messed up the whole night. It's like what you just said about the church. You feel me? You can't have a person and they're one way, right? And then you say, well, when I get married, they're going to be this way. Yeah. That's not how it goes. Whatever it was, whatever it is, prior to that piece of paper and that ceremony, that's what it is.
Straight up.
And you got to know that. Mm-hmm. And all this whipping people into shape, fixing people and changing people, listen to me. Let's get that out your mind. All right. That across the board. You feel me? And that go for a woman or for a man. All right. But when you look at marriage, it's like they got to get this this nice perfect picture that they done painted. Yeah. And that they done sold us and that be happening on the stories. Bro, that just ain't it. You're gonna face some real challenges. You're gonna have some real conversations, and at the end of the day, if it's not love, respect, and admiration, and that's your dog, you in trouble. All right. You in trouble. I'm talking about you. Listen to me. You gonna need all four of those things because it's gonna be 1 or 2 days when y'all don't agree on something. All right. And in my opinion, lucky for me, I ain't one of them people that be tripping. But it's about 3 or 4 things that's non-negotiable. Yeah. So mine get a free pass just across the board because I don't care about a lot of stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, and not in a bad way. Yeah. It's just that, I'm working my brand. I want to play with my little grandkid. So like, I don't got a lot of stuff that I care about, to be real with you. But the 3 or 4 things that's important to me, they non-negotiable. And they need to happen. And that goes back to the Caucasians call it deal killers. Yeah. All right. Everybody wants something out the deal. All right. It's still a negotiation. Mm-hmm. If you're a person that you know that you need love and that you know that you need attention, you can't go get with somebody that can't give you attention. Mm-hmm. I don't care how pretty she is. I don't care how fine she is. I don't care what she do for you. She's not going to give you attention, and that's one of your basic needs. Mm-hmm. So I think the biggest problems be people not understanding what their needs are and conveying them to their partner. Because I can assure you of this, and this is just the world according to Amp. If somebody not getting what they need, it's going to be a problem. Straight up. And now, more than ever, and this the people in the regular world and the people in the church world are going to have to agree on this one thing. We human. Yes. And it's more distractions out here right now than it ever was in the history. Real. In the history. And so I'll tell a woman and I'll tell a man at the same time. We just gonna talk about Walmart. You could be in Walmart minding your own business, just got through praying, everything's good, she love you, you love her, and y'all go in the checkout line, and it's a young lady standing in front of y'all in booty shorts. Yep. Now this the catch. Let's just tell the truth. You're not going to stare, but you have already looked because it's in front of you. You're going to see it. Right? And so again, that's where the growth, the maturity going to come in. And that's where hopefully you happy going to come in. Yeah. You feel me? Now, that same scenario could happen and you and your spouse just got through talking about, hey, I'd like for you, to put on something for me, you know what I'm saying, I want to see a little something. And then you be like, hold up, let me get this right. You mean to tell me I'm asking you who got the piece of paper, who got the job and the title, to show me a little something. And this girl here, I don't even know her. All right. And I'm saying, Because let's get this out of the way. This city girl thing done got out of hand. So look, and so to not make fun and to be real about the situation, man. I think marriage can be a beautiful thing if both people committed to making it happen.
Straight up.
And let's take the word perfect out of it. All right. I don't think, because you're two different people, and even though your goals are ultimately the same, right? Y'all still two different individuals.
Straight up.
The purpose of the friendship, the love and the respect and the admiration. So I'm not talking about being in love. I'm talking about you generally love this person. You respect this person. You admire this person in terms of the decision that they made would be pretty close to the decision that you would make anyway. And you know that they have your best interest at heart. I think all those things got to be there. And you're in love with this person. So that way, when the faults come up or any other inconsistency, you can kind of let it slide. Because it's going to be something.
Straight up.
That's my opinion.
Straight up. And that's real. That's so real. I was talking with my wife while we were coming here, and I was telling her, you know, I think for black men, like I'm supposed to be a part of this little black empowerment thing in a couple weeks. And so I have been thinking all week, you know, like I feel like a lot of men be like, oh, black king, black queen, this and that. But I'm like, how are we treating our women? Like if I love that woman, man, I'm gonna be committed to that woman. I ain't just, people are asking about the children and all. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But like, I have a partner.
Mm-hmm.
And she enables me to do a lot of things that I do. And I appreciate that. Like, and that's something that's important.
Hold on, not cutting you off. Admiration. You admire. Think about what you just said. She enables me to do what I'm doing. See that support right there?
All right.
So, not that she did it out the goodness of her heart, but that just gave us some more leverage. And I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
Because you get a chance to look around and say, shoot, boy, my baby with me 1,000.
All right. Straight up.
Man, and so watch this, bro. And I hope nobody have to go through this. But when a couple is used to doing what they want to do, and then they get down to them last $300 and go on some hard times,
yeah,
that's when you find out what you really, really got.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want nobody to find that out.
Straight up.
You feel me? But back to what you were saying, I personally think, I do think that every situation is different. And I do love the king and the queen analogy. But it's amazing what happens when we work together, we support each other, and we embrace each other's goals.
Straight up.
Because if you and her, I ain't trying to be funny, so I'm going to just talk about you and your wife. What if you and your wife both got a full-time job? Mm-hmm. Then y'all both have to come home and help with the kids.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to be funny. Y'all got this much time for each other.
Man, all right.
So no disrespect. I'm just
right.
talking about
real,
I'm just talking about being real. So if that's the case, how are y'all spending this much time? Y'all can't spend it at odds. Because if y'all spend it at odds, y'all got this much time. But then y'all are going to start to get this far apart. You feel me? And so I'm going to say this. And again, this is a mistake that I've made in the past, so I can speak on it. Bruh, half of the stuff that you do argue about, when you go look at it, not only is it petty, it ended up being a power struggle. And so, hopefully none of y'all like me. I can stay mad forever.
What?
Hey, but listen to me. And so trust me, I talk to all my kids about this. Because I be like, listen to me. Okay, these are your daddy's 4 good qualities. Get these. These qualities right here, please don't be like this.
Yeah.
Bruh, I can stay mad a long time.
Man, I'm working on it,
And so watch this, bro. And it's not even about I want to be mad. It's about, like I said, a lot of stuff don't bother me. But the stuff that do bother me,
yeah, boy, it bothered me, boy.
But it bothered me. Like, listen to me. Like, nah, don't try to go fry no pork chop now. You feel me? No, I don't even, I don't even care. No, but I said all that to say this, man. That's the growth and maturity. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna drag you on that. But to answer your question, I just want people to go into marriage with a better understanding.
Yeah, that's real.
All right. And here's the catch: an understanding of self, an understanding of what could happen together, right? And making sure that they agree on what they trying to do. Yeah. Not what I want to do, not what you want to do. Because when we together, it's what we trying to do.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And you always hear people say it's power in numbers. That's true and it's not true. It's true in terms of if we walking and agreeing.
Yeah.
If we just walking and we ain't agree,
a whole bunch of noise
that's all I'm saying. Together.
A whole bunch of nothing. A whole bunch of nothing together. You know, yeah, that's real, man. And you know, like one thing I will say about you, man, like I admire like how real you can be about it, because a lot of men ain't they want to acknowledge, you know, times when they've been wrong, you know, and I think that's
man. I wrote listen to me, bro. I just don't want to crank up on your show. Listen to me. I wrote the handbook for messing up, because I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna tell you what I did. If I bring something to your attention 3 or 4 times,
yeah,
then now, and again, I'm wrong, but I done brought it to your attention 3 or 4 times. So now, this is the difference between Anthony and Amp, my alter ego.
Yeah.
Amp says, hold on, either you won't do it or you can't do it. Now, both of them are a problem, but I just want to know which one it is. You feel me? So that's Amp. And so now Amp kicks in, and I'm going to be real with you. We don't know how Amp is going to respond. Because remember this here. This is what people don't know. Because of my childhood, I don't like the debate.
Yeah.
So really, again, this goes back to me and your conversation. Yeah. Bro, I don't do the debating. I'm not going to go back and forth about, I'm just not going to do this.
Yeah.
I don't even do it in business.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you have it. Because it's not that serious to me.
All
right. And, hold on, and I'm wrong, but that's just the world according to Amp. But again, it comes from my childhood. Right? I ain't big at being fussed at. You get to run that by me about twice. You feel me? Now, if you run it about 10 times, Amp is gonna show up again. And when he shows up, and this is one of my bad qualities, I'm prepared to accept whatever the consequences is. And that's something I had to get better at. Like, dog, me walking away from something, whether it's opportunities, whether it's a woman, whether it's a basketball team, like, bro, whether it's me walking away from something, again, it comes from my childhood. I will.
Yeah.
But my worst quality is, and it's not even about being vindictive, how I'm going to respond to you not giving me what I need. I could go act out in the worst way possible. You feel me? And I know this. Now, of course, I done got better. But now I'm saying, so hold on. So you don't care about what I feel. And you do have the capacity to love me, but you just don't feel like. So you know what? I don't think you love me.
Yeah.
Again, childhood. So now, so watch this. I cared about everything you cared about. Put you first, known the man, all that. But hold on. You don't love me? Because if you did, you would do A, B, C, and D, because you do have the capacity to do it. But now I think you don't love me. Nothing good is going to come out of that.
Yeah.
And that's childhood.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because let's get this out the way. Think about when you go to the hospital right now. They see you for what you cover for. Mm-hmm. Right? Bruh, mental health, and I'm not blaming none of that on this and that, but you do understand that through some of the turmoil, you do get affected, whether you admit it or not. Bro, they don't check you for that. You don't get no help for that. You don't get to talk to nobody. You get to talk to somebody if you get abused.
Straight up.
No disrespect. Guidance counselors at school, they got 800 kids to see. So so if you ain't get abused, or if your mama ain't smoke no crack in front of you, or something like that, like, bro, they don't fit you in. Yeah. And so with that being said, how all that comes to you is, my problems is probably extreme, but it's probably some other people with problems just like that. And so one of the things, man, that I'm especially proud of Lil Amp on is this. And again, this is why you got to watch DNA, because me and Lil Amp talk extensively now. Yeah. And Amp got some of my ways, not in a bad way, but even with me teaching him this, bro, DNA is for real. You see what I'm saying? And it's funny because, Amp is a funny guy. Yeah. But people don't know that there's still another side. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And so what I have to watch out, with all of my boys, because 3 of them got my temper, they just do it in a different way. Mm-hmm. The only one that don't have my temper is my littlest one. Yeah. You said the one that's the baby. Thank you, Jesus. I got more time to fix him. So... It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But I'll be the first to admit that I made mistakes. You feel me? And I'll be the first to admit that, bruh, I learned on the fly. Yeah. And even though my adopted mother, raised me good, right? But it might not have been a whole bunch of hugs. It might not have been a whole bunch of dialogue. Right? But the one thing that she did teach me, now she taught me the word, and she taught me what was right. But keep in mind, that block right there. Yeah. So remember, even though my mother was church, bruh, we stayed on Spring Hill. Yeah. We stayed on Lake Road. Yeah. We stayed in Kennedy Homes forever. Yeah. Bruh, and it's not in Gainesville no more, but you can ask somebody, anybody that's old enough, you can ask them about a trailer park on 43rd past the sheriff station. Mm-hmm. And so you would have to be at least 34 to remember it, but it was a trailer park. But bruh, it was the hood. Yeah. And everything that you could possibly imagine, they came out there to do it. So she taught me this great stuff, but I'm staying here. I see this. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? This is what I see. Mm-hmm. So
and that's something that I'm weary of. Like, people be thinking, because I'm in the church, I'm gonna do. I'm teaching my kids about real stuff, bro. I'm like, at the church, that's all right. They gonna get that. Right, they're gonna be around it a lot of times. But like me. Like I was telling one of my boys a couple weeks ago, I said, why can I wait until these jokers old enough to really understand? Because I can tell, Ashley, she's 7 now, she be asking me certain things, but she won't understand. I can't wait until them jokers get fully. I'm giving them that real. Right. Man, I done done some stuff. Right. I done seen some stuff. Man, I'm trying to tell you about that. Right. I know that block gonna always be there. It's gonna all. But the block ain't going nowhere. No, man.
And they got time. Right. Watch yourself. And not only does the block have time to hug you, the block has enough time to figure out your combination. Because people are motivated differently. Now y'all got a new word that y'all use called clout. Yeah. Before, during my day, see, clout wasn't worth a darn because we call it flogging. You talking too much. We ain't like that. That was a pimp code violation. Now, you cannot be that, and you can just have the clout. I said all that to say this. The block got so much time to figure out what your vice is. Mm-hmm. So now people think it's like, oh my gosh, let me just make sure my kids don't get on drugs. Well, guess what? If all your kid want to do is be popular and be seen, that's a drug. And it's a drug that, it don't cost you right now. But soon as everybody stop telling him how great he is, or, or patting him on his back, then he going to want to come back over here. to where he get that at. You see what I'm saying?
Straight up.
So, this just the stuff that I see, that I pick up on along the way. Because remember, bro, I be everywhere.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's a bunch of stuff that I do that I don't do for show. It's something that me and that man upstairs got worked out. So I know he gonna bless me. But, bro, I got a bunch of little boys. I got little boys now, bro, that's 30. You feel me? Bro, the young man that wrote the book, A is for Ambition, Tony Gohard. I respect him so much, and I love him as a brother. But, bro, I caught him when he was a freshman in college. And look, me and him still rocking.
Yeah.
You feel me? You don't know what seed God planted real early in your life that later on is going to sprout up. Mm-hmm. Because I can say this. The dude Emmanuel, me and him got a relationship. The dude Big Roy, like, that's my dog, man. He honestly, he the closest thing to a daddy. You feel me? Yeah. For me, bro, I got a room in this house. You feel me? So people wonder why I be in Panama City so much. You feel me? So again, it's like all of the men that made an impact in my life. It's funny because 3 of them, I've been able to come back with the position that I got now and make it rain on their side.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So whatever they invested in me, now it's mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, and don't quote me on this, this just what I got worked out in my head. Life is about balance, creating mutually beneficial relationship, and putting enough deposits in the universe so when you need a withdrawal, you can get it.
Yeah.
That's the world according to Amp.
That's real. That's real, man. That's free game, man. Y'all better get it.
You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. That that's what worked for me. You feel me? And of course, you know what I'm saying, you gonna have your faith and you're gonna stay prayed up. But that's something that you and God got worked out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I know, bro, for just the stuff that I done been through, I know I'm blessed. I know I'm covered. And even though I made mistakes, I ain't make the ultimate mistakes. You feel me?
Yeah. But see, at the end of the day, you still there. You still standing, and this is something that I be trying to tell my dad. Me and him get much better now. Like, we talk like on a weekly basis now.
See,
I'm talking about sometimes Joe call me every day now.
But see, that's good. That's good.
And we getting there.
And you have to hold up, not to cut you off. I'm glad that you're in a place of growth and not in a place of hurt, because you have to allow that. Yeah, all right? Because when you allow that, it's going to cleanse him, but it's going to purge you.
Yeah.
You feel me? Mm-hmm. It's going to cleanse him, but it's going to purge you. Mm-hmm. If you was to be stubborn, just to be stubborn, you feel me?
Yeah.
You don't know, because now that he got himself together, you don't know what role he going to play with the babies. Because I'm going to say this.
Straight up.
It's 2 mistakes that I know I made that I promise you I'm on my grandbabies' heads.
Yeah.
You feel me? And that's how I come. Like, trust me, when you get back to Gainesville, just walk in the house and say pop pop, and they gonna go stupid.
Yeah.
They love they pop pop. You feel me? They gonna go dumb, stupid, crazy. Yeah. Because I'm making sure that nothing come between me and them. You see what I'm saying? And they gonna get it from me. To where when they get older, they gonna have memories. Not what nobody told them. Then pop out to me here. Pop out to me. Pop out. And I'm going to because I'm going to tell you. It's not personal. I ain't take a lot of trips. You feel me? It's no different. Like, even when I had y'all, I'm a man. I can say it. Ask your mama. Okay, here, you go there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want y'all to go, but it don't do it for me. I don't ride in that bush garden. So does that mean I'm a bad person? No, that just means that that's not my focus. Yeah. But I understand now, with growth and maturity, that I need to ride the rides with y'all. You see what I'm saying? Y'all need those memories with me, because nobody's going to tell y'all that I sponsored the trip. They're going to leave that part out. Yeah. So all you going to know is, hey, me and my mama, you know what I'm saying? And I did a lot of that. You feel me? Yeah, straight up.
That's real. I talked a lot about it. But how has like you done stepped into another, the other realm of fatherhood.
Right.
Grandfatherhood.
Yeah.
How is grandfatherhood?
I'm gonna be real with you. For me, now this is gonna be funny to you. For me, it's scary.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
All right. And remember, I got all boys. So now, my son, Anthony Lil Amp Parker, Mr. N1, decides to go do an N1 and bring me twins. Yeah, Mr. N1. The whole N1 was supposed to stay with the basketball. But we going to let God do his thing and we cool. I don't want to mess it up. And I want them to know me. And with my family, I want them to be able to say when they grow up, that they got a mom and a daddy, right? They got 2 grandmas, right? Mm-hmm. Hopefully, they got 2 granddaddies. Yeah. So I want them to be like Noah. I want them to have 2 of everything. Right. I know what y'all gonna do on the uncle tip. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Fortunately, because of the bonus, now they got aunties to where when the summer hit, I want them to be able to say, well, I'm going to Auntie house, I'm going to Shad house, I'm going to go to Ron house, I'm going to go to Auntie Ann. I want them to just be, and everywhere they go, they get love. It's love. Yeah. You feel me? So now, because remember this, no disrespect. When I came up, I had my new mama, I had my grandma, I had one auntie that I would just slap crazy about. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But, bro, that was kind of the extent. And think about this. I had cousins, but I kind of had 2 cousins that I was, that was like my cousins. So like Stacy, that's my favorite cousin. Yeah. Tara, that's my favorite cousin. Everybody else, okay, when I get to them, it's cool. Yeah. But that's what I was on. So that's how come, even when I see how your family operates, like, people don't know y'all got a big family. Yeah. Y'all gonna eat good. You see what I'm saying? Y'all gonna get the boathouse and get it in. Bruh, kids need that. Yeah. And so with the granddaddy thing, I just don't want to mess it up, man. And because again, like you said, I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. So however long I'm here, man, I want them, even if I have to leave here and if I have to check out early, I want them to always be talking about, pop this. All right. My granddaddy used to, you know what I'm saying? Because little children get together and argue about the person that they love. Well, my granddaddy do this, and then this one. Well, my granddaddy got a helicopter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want them to go back and forth because that just shows that they value the time that we put into them. That's real. So that's what I'm on, man.
That's real, man. That's super real. I know I got a long way before I get to that point there, man. But I be thinking about it sometimes. Like, it's gonna be crazy to see my baby have a baby. There you go. I can't even imagine that thing right now. I'd be like,
yeah. And the good news is you got time, but you got to look at this, and I commend you for this. And let me give you this. The same way you started this, and you didn't have all the pieces to the puzzle, but you exercised your faith. And you did the parts that you could do. For where you're at right now, dog, mentally and spiritually, right? And for the pieces that you got in place right now, bro, you don't even know it. You done did the hardest part. Yeah. You feel me? And, bro, as you get a chance to talk to all the guys like me, if we be real and let you know how we messed up, it's going to help you. Now, you helping all us, but it's going to help you because now you know what's out there and what exists. And then if you and your wife ever do have a little small hiccup, it's going to be funny to you because you get a chance to listen to us. You be like, well, I don't want none of that.
No, I don't want them.
Man, listen to me. It's real.
And that is, you say that, but that's something that I always say. I say, Dad, can we talk? Was never was supposed to be about me. Right. I was like, shoot. I feel like I run my mouth enough. Mm-hmm. Anybody know me and they be around, I'm always talking, running my mouth. But I say, man, I want to start to listen and hear from other dads And I learned something. This is the 26th episode. I learned something from every all together. I got a bonus episode. I done probably sat down with at least about 30 people for this. And I've learned something from everybody, like something that I'm like, well, I'm taking that and putting that in my bag.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm going to need that later on.
Yes, sir.
You know, and sometimes I needed that next week.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, bro, just was talking about that, last week. So it's like, for me, this is more, I don't be caring about talking like that, because I know I'm going to do that. Man, I'm sitting down with everybody, 'cause I want to learn, like, at the end of the day, I don't feel like I got everything all together. I still, if you was to talk to my wife and my wife be real, my wife know there's so many things that I can work on as a dad, as a husband, just period, and those are things that I know, so I'm always trying to learn and become better. And for me to sit down with people, some people older than me, younger than me, I don't care if you're younger than me, it's stuff that you can teach me.
Man, all day.
That's things, because one thing I always look at and I tell people is, I feel like I was fortunate enough to be put in a position to what I'm in. Like, I got married. I stayed with my mom until I got married.
Right.
Then when I got married, I moved out, got my place, then got married. It's like I kind of did everything on an ideal stay. Everything was kind of like, oh, you do this, you do this, you do this. Then we had children. And I know most people that I don't know nobody else that did it like that.
No, man, man, trust me. I don't watch this here. Out of all my homeboys that really are my homeboys, that's my dogs. We all jumped off the porch so early, and we all got excess kids.
Yeah,
you feel me? And the one thing, like, the worst thing to me that you could do in this world, man, is bring a child in this world and you supposed to be co-parenting with somebody and y'all don't know each other. That's the worst thing. Because it's too many bumps, it's too many bruises, it's too many hiccups, and it's too many unforeseen circumstances that's going to come up. That's before what the child needs. That's before what the child...
With a wife.
Oh, yeah.
Look, bro, it's hard.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine. That's why I be saying, like, I commend everybody I sit down with, and I'm like, shoot, for me, I'm like, I know how hard it is. And like I say, I'm in the quote-unquote ideal relationship and situation. Right. And that thing is hard and difficult,
So imagine what we got going in the real world. So imagine when tempers flaring, when emotions high, when everybody feel like they're getting done wrong, and and at the end of the day, this is not nothing wrong that I'm gonna say. We all know that women are emotional. We already know that, and so you got to look at, bruh, when you got a woman and the she emotional and she feeling slighted and she on duty 24 hours a day, and she thinking that you not contributing, bruh, what you gonna get? It's gonna be ugly. And let me say this: when they made these right here, listen to me. Ask any man that's not with the woman no more. Ask him what kind of text he get from his baby mama when it's bad.
Yeah,
bruh, you ain't never had to get 50 texts. Bruh, you ain't never had to hear that you wasn't about nothing 50 different ways in 32 different languages, all in 20 minutes. Huh? Listen to me. And then at the end of those 30 texts, by the way, the baby needs some milk. Bruh, this thing real, man.
It's real, man.
It's real.
Like, I say I definitely commend any man, that's dealing with all that and still standing up in the paint and being like, it is what it is. Like, I'm gonna take care of what's mine, and we gonna make it do what it do,
And that's the thing, man. It's like, and I joke and I play a lot. I know we covered a lot of ground, but this the one thing I want to say, and this forget everything else I said in the interview. If you and your kids are at odds, but it's really about you and the co-parent is at odds, fight for the love of your kid. Do not let that circumstance push you away, make you shy away from the contact, push you in a corner, make you not want to be bothered with it, or take the road less traveled. No. Not literally, but kick the door in and fight for your child. Especially now, all of our kids got smartphones, which means there's no way that you're not touching them every day. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, far too many times we wait until it's too late. It's no different than, like I said, my 13-year-old, I knew when he was 12, I knew I had lost him. I could tell by me and his interaction. He loved me, but he was hurting his own way. And the truth of the matter is, boy, he just wasn't vibing with me. Like, nah, that ain't what I heard. That ain't what I heard. And so, bruh, I'm talking about, bruh, he might have told me no 100 times, but I still tell him, look, I love you, I'm behind you, and I'm still with you 100%. I'm just not there. Yeah. I'm behind you 1,000. I'm just not there. Yeah. It will get better. This will pass. We all gonna hang out. You feel me? And the other thing is, don't get into the name calling, because you can't be talking to a child and saying bad things about their mama and expect that not to come back and bite you. Even if it's true, just don't do it. That's real. Let the child see you trying to be the bigger person. And then let the child make their decision. And it'll pass.
That's real. That's real, man. But, man, we done talked about a lot, man. You covered some of everything, bro. Like I say, man, I appreciate you for always being here for me, man. You know, if I ever did come to you, I should have came. Like, I know within myself, I should have came to you more. Mm-hmm. You know, growing up, but I will say that anytime that I did, there was never a void.
No.
There was never a void, man. And that's something I say, you know, I appreciate you for that, man. You know, just always being there if I ever needed you. I appreciate you, bro.
Nah, really, man, but it's genuine. And remember this, seeing whatever you might have think I did, I definitely did it from the heart, and I definitely did it out of love. But seeing how you are with your kids, you don't know what that do for me. Yeah. And so I told Amp the same thing. And like Ron, you know, like, because you know me and Ron get it in. And we done talk through the good times, we done talk through the bad times. When I saw Ron with the Mari situation, I knew right then.
Oh, it was real, boy.
Come on, man. I knew right then. And we can't talk about it because this is not the proper platform. But y'all, and this go for you and him. Because actually I was worried about Amp. I didn't know if Amp was going to step up. I knew he was going to take Cam, but I didn't know he was going to step up like he did. But you and Ron made a conscious decision. My child will never die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me. I could see it.
Yeah.
And I saw, and I ain't gonna lie to you, with the Ron and the Mari, and I know he do a great job with all his kids, but you know the Mari was a little special.
Real.
Okay, so my point was, when I saw that, it still was healing for him. You feel me? It still was healing for him. Because he said, however I felt, my son will never feel that.
Yeah.
And I know that's what he didn't say that, but I know that's what it was.
Straight up.
Yes, sir.
Straight up. That's real, man. But yeah, man, we like I say, man, I appreciate you. I love you, bro. And, you know, continue to do what you do, man, because what you do, you know, people still watching. You know, there's people still watching. Now you got the grandchildren. You still got your children. You got community. You just got we always gonna have eyes on us, man. You know, as black men, we gotta be those examples for those coming up behind us, man.
And right, and that's the only thing I hate about what I do, bro, is again, not to make an excuse, and I say this in closing. I am who I am, but I'm still from where I'm from. And I am who I am now at this point in my life, but I still know everything that I knew. And so I never want to be put under the microscope because I'm still Amp. You feel me? And I'm still a work in progress. And I still work on myself daily. And bruh, then this go for my wife, this go for my kids. I tell them the truth. Look, it's a bunch of stuff that I ain't proud of.
Yeah.
Right? You know, and one of my sons, you know, that wanted to do the street thing, and he said, well, Daddy, they say you used to fight. I ain't proud of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not proud of that at all. But that's me. Yeah. That's still me. I can't rewrite it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So all I can do, dog, is move forward.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that people watch me. I'm glad that people look up to me, and I'm glad that I motivate and inspire people. And I'm gonna continue to do that. Yeah. But don't never put me on a pedestal.
Straight up.
Because anything can happen. I never want to fight again. I promise you I don't. But I'm still Amp. You feel me? I hope I never do nothing bad. I hope I never go to jail. You know, I hope me and never be Kodak Black. None of that. But I'm human, and I need people to understand this. I'm a man first. You feel me? And I talk to God about that daily. You feel me? So,
straight up, man.
But yeah, man. So hopefully, if we inspired one person today, or if we helped one person today, then it was worth it, bro. But I definitely, as long as you know that I support you, I'm here for you. And as you go to the next level of your vision, just know that you got my support.
Yeah, straight up, man. Well, yeah, I appreciate you, man. Y'all stay tuned, man. I pray that, like you say, man, I just pray even just one person get this, man. If you just took one thing out of this whole talk, you know, take something from this and don't just hear these things, man. Like if you're a father or if you are an aspiring father, learn these things. Don't go on the road alone. It's always somebody there that knows more. There's always someone who's been through more. Take heed, you know, when you hear another man talking about his experience, always take heed.
Hey, because it's not a handbook. The one thing they need to understand, bruh, all that handbook, bruh, and if you, even for the fathers that ended up being great fathers, I'm saying that's older than me, like 10 times, if you talk to them, they going to tell you we all fell short of grace.
Straight up.
And, bruh, we all made some mistakes. We all made some bad decisions. That's just the bottom line. It ain't no handbook. Bruh, it done been some time, even from disciplinary standpoint, we done handled some things wrong and had to come back and say, hey, that could have been handled a little better. How many times you in the middle of doing something and one of your kids do something and you don't have time to say, not right now, little JoJo. That's really what you want to say. Hey, boy, stop. Da-da-da. And it could have just been the time, and you have to go back and say, well, look, Daddy wanted you to stop, and I did mean for you to stop, but I realized I could have said that better.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Bruh, we going to make some mistakes, man. We got to stop putting that pressure on people thinking there is a perfect dad. No, bro. Mm-hmm. Bill Cosby was our perfect dad, and you see where he at.
All right.
That's all I can tell you. So outside of the Huxtables, ain't no more perfect dad, bro.
Yeah. Straight up, bro. That's real, man. So, like I say, if y'all out there listening, man, take heed, you know. Continue to learn, get better. And the way that you do that is, at times, by sitting down and talking with other people and understanding and learning, you know, their mistakes and where they come from, things that they've seen. So, sometimes you ain't got to go through it because somebody else already been through it. So, y'all, like I say, y'all continue to stay tuned. We will be you support. That's it, man. Dad, can we talk? We out.